Hey, what's up, guys? This is Alex from FirstShowing.net. I'm here with
Germain was here from Slashfilm.
And Ethan Anderton from FirstShowing.net.
We're at Sundance, and we just got out of
the midnight world premiere
yeah.
of S-VHS, the sequel to 2012's VHS, which also premiered at Sundance.
Yeah, we were all three at that
just
premiere
last year.
Yeah, well, I was at the P&I, but yes.
Well, we were all at the...
We all saw it at Sundance last year and thought it was really, really fun. And
Wow.
it did,
Scary.
It did really well. It's an anthology film, horror film with each segment's done by another horror director who's done all types of movies, and this is the sequel that they shot in the following year, and a couple of directors return, a couple of new directors come on, and I liked the first VHS, but I thought this blew it away.
They definitely upped the ante, but what they've also done is they've made it leaner. It's not as like the last one had. I don't know how many segments I had in total, but it felt a little long, and the connecting piece between them was a little bit like not that great. But this is like they get rid of all that extra fat and they just get right into it, but they keep the thrills and scares to the max. Like, and it's also funny, but I mean, to agree with you right off the bat, like, holy shit, this is great.
Yeah. I mean, there's four main segments with a wraparound, sort of similar to the other one. And the first one, I kind of thought one or two sort of dragged a little bit. A word is scary.
Yeah, there are parts that drag, and like they're all familiar like horror tropes, but the cool thing is how the found footage works into it, and like they add cool little elements that like change it up and make the scares feel different, make the stories feel different.
Well, I think the first one dragged, but I don't think this one drags at all. I personally.
Oh, the movie, you mean?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I agree with you.
I think like each segment is completely different. They're all found footage.
Yeah.
They're all found footage. They're all first person found footage. But they come up with inventive ways to do it, and a lot of different little twists on it, and things that seem so simple. Like if you think of the Eduardo Sanchez one in the woods.
Yeah.
That's always say like how come we hadn't seen that before?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Adam Wingard's first one with it's just like wow simple smart ideas and I was generally I mean I was a little more scared in this one. You don't think you were scared?
No, personally I think the first one is still scary, but for me like I found that like the first 2/3 I think of the movie seem like they're a little bit more tongue in cheek, kind of like not parody level, but it's more funny and like not as nearly as scary as the segment from the first one. In the last third of the film, the final two segments are scary as hell, like ridiculously scary.
The final one is directed by Jason Eisener, who did Hobo with a Shotgun, and the one before that is Gareth Evans did The Raid, and he has a co-director, I forget his name. Those two, I think they do sort of escalate. I do think they are. Yeah. I think they're all incredibly strong, but I think on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably like 7, 8, 9 to 10. Yeah, you know, you have to do that. Yeah. And the wraparound is good. I
don't think the wraparound is as good this time as the first one. It seems like the
first one had no point though. This is kind of like
that's the idea though, is that it was just this was happening somewhere. You didn't need to have a plot. And this one I feel like they tried to make it a little bit too complicated.
Did you hear what you just said? They didn't need to have a plot. No, I get it, but at the same time I felt like this one they tried to add a bit more, and like the tapes meant something. In a sense, like I mean, I don't want to say too much
a little bit more.
That's why I like the first one a little bit more though, is because the tapes they just stumbled upon them, and it was like these exist somewhere, and like like in this case it was like they were looking for them, and like they had a purpose. Like this guy, you know, you'll see in the wraparound.
It's not a spoiler to say like the wraparound is these two people trying to find a missing person.
Yeah, actually, I believe it's one of the missing people from the first movie. I think that was a tie-in.
Well, you know what I was thinking is. Obviously, they're going to continue this on probably way more than this. But my thought is, they're probably sitting there going, "How do we then continue this idea of what these tapes mean, how they're found, what the content is, without just being like, oh, it's just horror."
Well, I think I didn't pick up on any because I haven't seen the first one since last Sundance. But you said I think there are a couple little
there's a couple of really subtle tie-ins to the first movie, like especially in the very beginning when they stumble upon the tapes again. One of the videos that gets played on a computer is a very short segment from the first one where there's boobs.
Okay, cool. There you go. But one of my problems with the first one was that that it didn't all tie in. This one doesn't really tie in, but they do try a little bit more. Yeah. The movies are completely independent of each other, save for little nods. You can watch this movie without seeing regular VHS, the first VHS. Right. Yeah. And the one thing that always is, I mean, it's a fun horror movie, but I'm always like, every one of the segments has to do with like high-end technology, like we're shooting this on an iPhone, like that kind of stuff. who would put that onto VHS?
That's what I was thinking. That's
I'm always thinking that. I'm
like it starts, and then they're on a GoPro, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. He's like,
GoPro to VHS.
It's like, here's this like incredible super technology in the one scene, and then it's like, why would that onto VHS? Yeah. But it's the fun of it. Is that it's VHS.
Forget about that and enjoy the.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, the one thing that I think is much more prominent this year is the blood and gore. Ridiculous amounts of blood.
Some of them, like Gareth Evans in particular, was just
out of control.
You've seen The Raid. Imagine that guy making a horror movie with those kind of like brilliant makeup and effects and things like that. And so you are right about that, and I mentioned that in my tweet that there's just like gorier, crazier, like upping the ante in every single way they can.
Yeah, I think it was really, really good. I think it's better than the first one, and the first one's a lot of fun. I think you're all definitely going to get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be bought by the end of the weekend, or if not, who cares? Big props to everybody who had a problem with this movie. I think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just want to say my favorite segment for when you guys do get to see it is the third one. Which is the Gareth Evans one. Like, I like the last one, but I don't because of what's in it.
Because you're so scared of it.
Yeah.
Alex was so scared a couple of times. He took his glasses off, put his head down.
Dude, the last one is like... if that shit scares
it's
you,
loud
it's
and
like maximum
and
just like, holy shit. Like,
but it's fun. It's a blast, especially seeing it at midnight with a crowd that was like ready to get scared.
Cheering after every segment. And, I mean, if it follows what happened with the first one, it'll probably go VOD, which is a great way to see it. But if you can see it in the theater... See it in the theater because the sound is great, and they really, really, really kicked ass with it.
Yeah.
All right, Alex.
Well, we'll continue covering Sundance, but you can always find our work at firstshowing.net
and mine on slashfilm.com.
We'll see you guys later.